For a decade, one name dominated global headlines: Osama Bin Laden, the face of terror and the world's most wanted man. But before infamy, he was a son of immense wealth, born into Saudi Arabia's richest construction dynasty, raised in luxury, and educated among elites. At university, Bin Laden fell under the sway of radical thinkers, especially Abdullah Azzam, who preached global jihad. This ideology gave Bin Laden a purpose beyond privilege, transforming him from a quiet heir into a man obsessed with religious struggle. He abandoned comfort for conflict, setting himself on a path that would forever alter history. The Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1979 was Bin Laden's call to arms. He traveled to Pakistan, using his wealth to create Maktab al-Qidamat, recruiting and funding fighters for the Afghan jihad. Bin Laden's efforts built a network of militants, the Afghan Arabs, earning him respect as both financier and organizer. As the war dragged on, he became more involved, building fortifications and even fighting alongside the Mujahideen. In 1988, he co-founded Al-Qaeda, envisioning a global jihadist vanguard. The Soviet withdrawal in 1989 emboldened him. He believed faith had toppled a superpower. Bin Laden returned to Saudi Arabia a hero, now leading a network of hardened fighters and a dangerous ideology. The stage was set for his next, far more ambitious campaign. Bin Laden's triumph in Afghanistan was short-lived, as the world's attention soon shifted to a new crisis in the Middle East. In 1990, Iraq's sudden invasion of Kuwait sent shockwaves through the region, threatening the stability of Saudi Arabia and the entire Gulf. Bin Laden, emboldened by his past victories, offered to defend the kingdom with his battle-hardened Afghan veterans, warning that allowing foreign troops on holy soil would be a grave sacrilege. The Saudi royals, fearing Saddam Hussein's army, rejected his offer. Instead, they invited U.S. forces to protect the kingdom, marking a historic shift in the region's alliances. Bin Laden saw this as a deep betrayal, proof in his eyes that the monarchy was corrupt, weak, and subservient to Western interests. His outrage grew as American soldiers established bases near Islam's holiest sites. For Bin Laden, the presence of non-Muslim troops on sacred land was intolerable, and it transformed his anger into a new mission. He began publicly denouncing both the Saudi regime and the U.S. military presence, which led to his exile from his homeland in 1992. From Sudan, and later Afghanistan, Bin Laden built a network of followers and plotted revenge against what he called the far enemy, America and its allies. The seeds of global terror had been sown as Bin Laden's vision expanded from local grievances to a worldwide campaign of violence. Bin Laden's war was just beginning, setting the stage for a new era of conflict that would soon engulf the world. In Sudan, Bin Laden transformed Al-Qaeda into a global terror network, issuing fatwas calling for attacks on Americans everywhere. Early attacks included a hotel bombing in Yemen and support for Somali militants who killed U.S. soldiers in Mogadishu. Expelled from Sudan, he found sanctuary with the Taliban in Afghanistan, escalating his campaign. In 1998, Al-Qaeda bombed U.S. embassies in Kenya and Tanzania, killing hundreds and wounding thousands. The U.S. retaliated with missile strikes, but Bin Laden survived, his legend growing. In 2000, Al-Qaeda bombed the USS Cole, killing 17 sailors, a brazen attack on American military might. Each strike was a calculated step, building toward an even more devastating plot. The world had not yet seen the full extent of Bin Laden's ambition. On the morning of September 11, 2001, the world changed forever. Al-Qaeda, a terrorist organization led by Osama bin Laden, executed the deadliest terrorist attack in history, shocking the globe and leaving an indelible mark on the 21st century. 19 hijackers seized control of 4 commercial airplanes, turning them into weapons. 2 planes crashed into the World Trade Center towers in New York City. 1 struck the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and the 4th crashed in a Pennsylvania field after passengers fought back. The Twin Towers collapsed in a matter of hours, sending dust and debris across lower Manhattan. Nearly 3,000 people from over 90 countries lost their lives, while millions watched the tragedy unfold live on television, united in shock and grief. The attacks were a declaration of war, not by a nation, but by a shadowy terrorist network determined to spread fear and chaos across the globe. America demanded justice. Osama bin Laden, speaking from his hideout in Afghanistan, claimed responsibility, framing the attack as retribution for perceived injustices. The Taliban, who sheltered him, became immediate targets of U.S. anger. Bin Laden had achieved his goal, provoking the United States into action and cementing his infamy as the face of global terrorism. The world's attention was now fixed on him. The hunt for bin Laden became a global obsession, with intelligence agencies and law enforcement working around the clock to track his every move. Across continents, people gathered for candlelight vigils, holding hands in solidarity and mourning together. The New York City skyline, forever altered, became a symbol of loss and resilience. The war on terror had begun, as the United States and its allies launched military operations in Afghanistan, vowing to dismantle Al-Qaeda and bring those responsible to justice. Osama bin Laden was now the most wanted man alive, his face appearing on wanted posters and headlines worldwide, as the world braced for a new era of uncertainty. The US invaded Afghanistan, toppling the Taliban and scattering al-Qaeda, but bin Laden vanished into the mountains. Despite massive efforts, he eluded capture at Tora Bora, slipping into Pakistan's tribal regions. For nearly a decade, he was a phantom, surfacing only in taunting videos, inspiring terror worldwide. Intelligence agencies scoured the globe, following false leads and dead ends. The breakthrough came from tracking his trusted couriers. In 2010, surveillance led the CIA to a fortified compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. The world's most wanted man was hiding in plain sight. The stage was set for a final reckoning. In May 2011, President Obama made a momentous decision that would reverberate around the globe. He authorized a daring, high-stakes raid, Operation Neptune Spear, after months of careful intelligence gathering and planning. Under the cover of darkness, elite Navy SEALs flew into Abbottabad, Pakistan. They stormed the fortified compound, engaging in a brief but intense firefight that ended with the death of Osama Bin Laden, the world's most wanted terrorist. His identity was confirmed through DNA testing, and in a move to prevent his grave from becoming a rallying point, his body was buried at sea, according to Islamic traditions. News of Bin Laden's death spread rapidly, electrifying the world. Crowds gathered in cities across the United States and beyond, celebrating the long-awaited justice. For many, it was a moment of profound closure. A decade-long manhunt had finally come to an end, bringing relief and a sense of justice to families of 9/11's victims. Yet, even in death, Bin Laden's legacy endures, his image and name still haunting headlines and history books. Al-Qaeda was dealt a severe blow, but the ideology he championed survived, fueling new waves of extremism and giving rise to groups like ISIS, who carried his vision into new conflicts. The war on terror fundamentally reshaped global politics, security and foreign policy, leading to new alliances, stricter security measures, and a world forever changed. Bin Laden's journey, from a life of privilege in Saudi Arabia to a fugitive mastermind in Afghanistan, serves as a chilling reminder of how one man's fanaticism and vision can alter the course of history. His death closed a dark chapter, but the consequences of his actions still echo in conflicts, policies, and memories around the world. The world remains vigilant, its people and leaders forever shaped by the shadow he cast and the lessons learned from his reign of terror. The story of Osama bin Laden stands as both a warning and a lesson, a reminder for generations to come of the enduring impact of extremism and the ongoing struggle for peace and security.